Hi guys, it's Aaron Wilson. I've made it to Minneapolis where I'm outside of US Bank Stadium where the Texans will take on the Vikings on Saturday to kick off the preseason. Let's start with the news of the day. Gardner Johnson. Further tests have shown that he does not have extensive damage to the knee and a potentially quick recovery time could happen for him. Just depends how he responds to rest, rehab, and whatever type of treatment options they go with for this knee injury. One of the options, I'm told, could be a PRP shot. They could even scope it. And so this is a much better outcome than what was initially feared. So it will look like a severe knee injury, and it looks like now it's going to be lesser of a knee injury. And that's good news for the Texans and CD Deuce, Gardner Johnson, and having him as a part of this defense at some point, whether that's the Rams game, which I'm told has not been ruled out, it's about a month from now, or sometime early in the season. Those are all good scenarios for the Texans and Gardner Johnson. So initially, it was a lot of concern about the knee. He was carted off the field. Video that the team has examined showed his feet slide across the grass and then his cleats get caught in the grass, leaving his knee in a vulnerable position. That's how the injury happened. It wasn't like it was this heavy-duty play or he was doing anything out of the ordinary. It was a routine play, and it went awry. But the good news is that Gardner Johnson is expected to play football for the Texans this season and be a part of a vibrant defense that's one of the most talented groups in the NFL, bar none. You've got Will Anderson, you've got Danielle Hunter, you've got Azeez Al-Shire, you've got a good defensive line rotation inside, the interior guys, and then you've got Christian Harris back if he can stay healthy. That's a big caveat. And the secondary, arguably the best in football, especially when you have Gardner Johnson. So you have Derek Stingley Jr., you have Kamari Lassiter, you have Jalen Petrie. So let's talk about the preseason game and also the plan B at safety. For now, I'm told that MJ Stewart and Rush East are expected to play the majority of this game, and you'll have a little bit of Miles Bryant. You've got some other backups, but primarily MJ Stewart, who's expected to start, and Rush East, who's also expected to start and play a ton of snaps against the Vikings. So we'll see what they can do. MJ, of course, is a veteran. Rush East has not played as much football. Played at Kentucky. Probably should have had an interception in the Titans game, but kind of waited for the football to come to him. But he had an interception in practice the other day, and so shout out to Rush East. And this is a big game for him, so we'll see what he can do. We don't expect a lot of starters to necessarily play. They're going to hold out, as D'Amico Ryan said, a handful of guys. Would not be shocked if C.J. Stroud was one of those handful of guys. Not expecting Kalen Bullock to start. Derek Stingley Jr., I think a lot of key players will miss this game. And then the injured guys, just to run it down for you. Christian Harris, he's only done a walkthrough, so he's not going to play in this game. Of course, Dameon Pierce, same situation. Not going to play in this game. You're not going to go from 0 to 100. So they're going to ramp these guys up properly, which is the right thing to do, to have this patient, big picture approach and get them ready. These preseason games do not count. I know there's a lot of attention paid to them, but I cannot emphasize enough. It is all about just getting better as a team and evaluating, not about the outcome of the games or trying to win them. And most people know that, but it's always worth doing that reminder that the preseason is not really important. You just want to look good out there, compete. You get to my conversation with Nick Caley, who wants to see a team that takes care of the football, that's competitive, and is physical, and doesn't make mistakes. So what should we expect from this preseason opener? This is likely going to be at least some of time for the offensive line. They don't have enough guys to not play a lot of these starters, if not play the starters for a good little bit. I think they will get some work. So expect Ariante Ursary to play left tackle. Cam Robinson's still sidelined. Looks like he's got a sleeve on his knee. Hearing that it's a knee, we'll see. Not a real serious injury. Expect it back soon. Nick Chubb not playing, as I mentioned. Absorbed a hard shot to the head from Kamari Lassiter. And so he's been watching the last couple of days. But D'Amico Ryan says he'll be fine. He'll be back soon. So that's good news on Nick Chubb. So kind of jumping around a little bit. Yeah, I understand. And we'll go with the backfield for now since I'm talking about Chubb. So this means a lot of Dario Gomawale and Jahar Jordan, of course Woody Marks, and British Brooks, So you'll see all those backs. I think you'll see the fullback, Gardner Johnson, get some work, and they'll just evaluate the backs that are ready to go. So I don't know if this is, a group that's going to wow you, but they are going to play against the Vikings. I'm told the Vikings are going to play J.J. McCarthy for 8 to 10 snaps. Aaron Jones, the running back, is not going to play. And Lucky Jackson, the guy who's been filling in for Jordan, he'll probably fill in for Jordan Addison during the suspension. Former UFLer has impressed the Vikings coaches. So some notes on the other side of the football about the Vikings. And of course, they have Jonathan Grenard and Blake Cashman, former Texans. Don't know how much they're going to do because it is the preseason opener. I heard the starters are going to play lightly for the Vikings. And sometimes there's some coordination between coaches where they talk about, hey, what are you guys doing? Okay, we're doing this. Okay, great. Maybe you do the same thing. Maybe you don't. Everybody has different agendas for these preseason games. But for the Texans, the agenda's got to be cut down on turnovers. We saw a lot of turnovers during the practice session so far. So take care of the ball. And I'm very curious to watch these wide receivers. So not Nico Collins per se. I don't know if Nico is going to play. But Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. You want to see Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie III, Justin Watson. We haven't seen a lot of action for Justin Watson. We want to see more of Justin Watson as they try to make this evaluation. Who's going to make this team? Braxton Berrios on returns. A lot going on with the Texans. So offensive line, Ariante Ursary, and he played his college football here in Minneapolis for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, who is the Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year. Shut down Abdul Carter from Penn State, as I've mentioned a couple times. He's a outstanding prospect. He did have trouble with the speed rush from Will Anderson Jr. the other day in the scrimmage and gave up a sack. So there might be some growing pains for Ariante Ursary, but he's a very talented lineman. He's got a lot of upside. Really like his future. Feel like the ceiling is extremely high for Ariante Ursary. Then left guard Laken Tomlinson. Center competition still alive between Jake Andrews and Jared Patterson, but Andrews is in the lead. Patterson's also played some left guard with the second team offense. Right guard, it would be Titus Howard, but now he's playing right tackle because of the line shuffle triggered by Cam Robinson's absence. So at right guard, Ed Ingram has taken most of the snaps all week. I do expect Juice Scruggs to work in, and very curious to watch Jalen Thomas when they sub in, and Zach Thomas. Both Thomases, no relation, but both good backup linemen that have had strong camps. And then among the other guys, young players I'm watching, Solomon Byrd is another guy that I think will get to the quarterback that needs to be heard from. I want to see, do we see any EJ Speed? And you got Henry Toto, you got Aziz Al-Shire, but I think there's going to be some EJ Speed action. So you saw my conversation with EJ, and another one I recommend checking out, as well as my conversation with Daniil Hunter. We got into all kind of stuff, including his international travel, the way he crafts his pass rush moves, and his cheat meal, Caribbean jerk chicken and oxtails. Sounds delicious. So a little bit about his track background. And guys, I know that you prefer the talking videos and all the information, and yeah, I love doing them. But yeah, to support the channel, please also, I encourage you to watch these exclusive interviews with real important guys in the roster, like Daniil Hunter, EJ Speed, Nick Caley, to name a few. So yeah, please tune in for the interviews too, because that helps support the channel, and I think you'll enjoy the videos. This is a way to get to know these guys, what they're thinking, and these are interviews that are coming here and at KPRC too. So yeah, please check them out. Give them a listen, as they say in the broadcasting business, and see what you think. You may like the conversations and the interactions with these athletes and coaches, because it can't only be just, I'm talking all the time. I think that I want to hear from these other voices, these guys that actually play the game. And I am a conduit to you, the fans, but these guys are in the arena, and you always want to be the man in the arena that is competing. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's a real credibility from what they're doing, and it's tough to do, and I respect that. And these guys, what they go through to play the game, these coaches, the time they put in, all the sacrifices they make, it is a tough business. Tough in the news business too sometimes. You just try to get your stories, try to do your job, and travel, all the things that go with it. It's all worth it, because it's a privilege to tell these stories and to cover this league and cover the Texans. So yeah, today this was in Lewisburg, West Virginia. Took a flight to Chicago, then we got delayed, broken wheel on the flight at O'Hare, and then we finally made it here. But I wanted to talk to you guys and give you some insight before the game starts. So yeah, I'm really curious to watch the tight ends, especially Brevin Jordan, who hasn't played a football game in a year and has made a great comeback from his ACL. Of course, Cade Stover, one of the more improved players. Look at the tight end position. I don't know how much Dalton Schultz needs to do. We'll see if they have him play at all. I'm not sure that maybe he's one of those handful of guys, a proven vet, and we'll see what they do with the playing time. And I'll be here, of course, to provide a lot of coverage. I'll be writing articles. I'll be talking on the channel, of course, doing a breakdown and having post-game locker room. So guys, those interviews, they're not on YouTube. Not everything is at the podium. The good stuff is in the locker room. That's where us beat reporters really tend to have those good relationships and to get the good interviews, and just hear from these guys about what they go through and what they thought of the game and to get their reactions. So there will be a ton of that kind of thing posted, and we're going to get into it all. But yeah, this is kind of this is the first road game and the first game situation of the year. So this is the first year, it's actually, I shouldn't say first year, but first year where I'm starting it from the beginning. Last year we started around the Patriots game. It was my first time, and a lot of trial and error. I appreciate all you guys that helped me grow the channel. We're at about 13,000 as of tonight, and it's been a fun deal building this channel and getting it to where we go. And I'm not setting any limits on it. Let's just keep growing, keep getting better, and making this a fun place to go. And I see your questions and your comments, and I try to answer all of them that I can. And I'm always getting alerts on my phone and just checking them out. And yeah, guys, but yeah, please watch the other videos too. It's not just about talking and analysis and things like that. This is all great. I feel like this makes it more of a unique channel, but I have videos too. And the videos are not just a practice and the B-roll and all that stuff. And you guys seem to enjoy that. But yeah, give me the feedback. Tell me what you guys like, because it's not just what I like. It's about you. You're the audience. So tell me, and we'll do everything we can to make the channel as good as possible. And we're just trying to keep growing it. And like I say, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. This is kind of really galvanized me as I do something different, not just my traditional tweets and articles and going in the studio to talk with Randy McElboy and Ari Alexander and everybody, all the great people at KPRC too. But yeah, this is something a little bit different because this is YouTube, and this is where it's at. YouTube is a big deal right now, and we're growing, and it does help support me, my family, and this channel. So yeah, guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate you guys, and it's been a long kind of planes, trains, and automobiles day. I have a lot of those. Sometimes I have some fun travel stories. Nothing too big today, just a lot of stuff that went on. One thing that I keep hearing about with the Texans, and I think it's interesting, and I've had this theory too, I'm sort of a glass half full guy, at least right now. The offense with Stroud's kind of a gamer. We've always kind of known that. But I think it's going to be much more of a true litmus test. How do they look against another team? And what we've seen, the Texans defense, they know the plays. They're great athletes. It's an elite defense. It's difficult to compete against. And I think it could be different. It could be a different story when the Texans are out there against another opponent. So we'll see. I'm looking forward not just to watching Davis Mills, who I think has had a really good camp, but Graham Mertz and Slovis, and see some other guys throw the football. Just not really expecting. If CJ Stroud plays at all, I'll be a little bit surprised. We'll see. I'm not reporting that he definitely won't play, but it wouldn't shock me if he did play, or if he played just a tiny, tiny bit. I know he wants to play, but I don't know how important it is for him to play. We'll see. Last time at this stage of the preseason, he played one series, went 5 for 5 against the Steelers, and that was it for the day. And they got done what they wanted to get done. But I know Nick Haley, he's fired up, wants to show his offense, and I think all eyes are going to be on the Texans' offense and a lot of these things. The personnel stuff, it's all interesting, it's all details, but I really feel like let's see the offense. Let's see it against another team and learn something. So we'll learn, I'll learn, and we'll have our observations and reaction. Lots more to come. So guys, thanks for listening to me. I appreciate you guys. Good night.